people who want to know what my talk show is about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. I can show them I'm able to. So let me rephrase that. The whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. But you should never give up. You should prove to people you can still amount to something. So that being said, half hour, 45 minutes of your time. Say anything you want, freedom of speech, freedom of self-expression. And starting off, I'm going to ask you some easy questions, but I'm going to ask you about some hard-hitting ones. Sure. And the first one I'm going to ask you is, how was life growing up?
How was life growing up? Life growing up was pretty good. I grew up in a middle-class family. I have two younger brothers, and, mother and father loved each other and, taught us well and took great care of us. So I didn't have a whole lot of problems growing up. Very, normal childhood, thank God.
Yeah, that's all it's about, just being humbled.
Amen.
Now, the next question let's get asked you is, what did you major in college, and who influenced you to get into acting?
In college, I was an art/biology major. I did not graduate. I started working for Richardson Vicks. I never went back to college because I started making money. And who got me into acting? Probably a friend of mine, Mel Donaldson. I started taking classes at Freedom Theater, and I was a singing major, and as part of the curriculum, you had to take a movement and an acting class, and I got the acting bug after that. But a buddy of mine who's, still I'm friendly with now, Mel Donaldson, I saw him act, and I was like, hey, I want to do that, and of course I always watched a lot of films, so. But I never really wanted to do it until I took that first acting class.
No, absolutely. And now you are one of the biggest stars in the TV world. You are on all 5 seasons of The Wire. And for people who want to know, how did you break into that line of work? I know you mentioned who influenced you, but what were the steps that you had to take to get on The Wire? And are you still part of it, or?
Certainly. So, my first film was in 1997 with Kevin Costner in The Postman, and after that, I had to join SAG, do Snake Eyes with Gary Sinise. My scene was with him. Also, Nicolas Cage was in that movie too. But anyway, after I joined the union, I started to be able to audition for different roles. And part of that was down in Baltimore. I auditioned for and got a role on Homicide, Life on the Streets, an NBC show that's off the air now. And as a result of that casting director, Pat Moran, called me in like maybe 3 or 4 times to read for different roles for The Wire. And I was finally cast as Homicide Detective Vernon Holly. And I ended up, doing all 5 seasons, but sporadically. I ended up doing 19 episodes, and I probably would have been in a lot more, but I had a lot of theater conflicts because theater cast, they usually cast their shows sometimes six months to a year ahead of time. So, and with The Wire, I was not a series regular, so they would call me 2 weeks out and say, hey, are you available? If I was, they would, have me in. If not, they would just write me out. So I would have probably been in at least 10 more episodes, but my theater commitments prevented me from doing so. But I got the role on The Wire through auditioning at Pat Moran Casting in Baltimore.
Well, that's the next question I was going to ask you. You brought up some good movies. The Postman, a lot of people liked it, a lot of people didn't like it. And Snake Eyes, I heard of it, but I never really saw it. But Nicolas Cage, he's an interesting guy. How was it like working with him?
Well, I didn't work with Nicolas. He was just one of the stars of it. The scene I was in, I was just playing a security guard, but I was in the scene with Gary Sinise, and Carla Gugino, actually, who's a beautiful, talented actress. But I had just had a little quick scene. I just saw Nicholas on the set, but I didn't talk to him. He was, big star. I'm nobody, so I left him alone.
Hey, you're a bigger star than I am.
Well, nah, that's to be determined. But you're a star in what you do. I'm just a struggling actor, so you're doing better than me.
Hey, you help me, I help you.
Amen.
And what about Gary Sinise? How was it like with him?
He was really cool. He was very intense at first. He was, getting to his character. And after we did a couple of rehearsals, because Brian De Palma directed the film, and he likes to do a lot of takes. So after we got a couple of takes under our belt, because it was a real tricky camera shot, because it was like we call it I can't think of the name of it, a tracking shot. So it was a lot of different elements to get together. So, but Gary Sinise was very nice, very generous, and very gracious. Nice to work with, and he came from Steppenwolf for theater, and I come from theater too. But he was really cool.
Now, you said recently you got a chance to be on Gotham.
Yes, yeah, I did a small part on Gotham, playing a harbor master, and I get my head cut off. So I won't be going back on Gotham unless it's just my head. So
hey, never say never. Gotham, they keep killing people, but they keep bringing them back.
Yeah, I would love to go back. What a great set to be on. I'm a comic book nerd. I buy comic books every Wednesday. I got like 40 boxes of comic books. So I love, the comics and how they've transferred them to TV and film. I'm reading Batman right now, the series. So, Batman has like 5 or 6 different iterations, but I'm reading the main Batman title right now. So, yeah, it was really cool to be. That's one of the most fun sets I've ever been on in like 20 years. So it was cool.
What is your honest opinion about Gotham? Do you think they should have, because Smallville, he was basically Superboy, and then he ended it when Tom Welling put the suit on.
Right.
For Batman, it can go either way. It was good, but he was a kid. But now you're introducing the Joker. It's like he was a mobster, but Batman turns him into the Joker. And then they start introducing all these other people. It's kind of like, I know, Gotham, I would like to be a guest on Gotham, an extra. But do you think eventually they're going to use Batman, or do you think they're going to write him out and he's going to go train and you're going to fast forward for a couple of years? Then he's got to come back as Batman.
Wow, that's you should be one of the writers. That's a good suggestion. I honestly don't know, because I'm playing catch up on Gotham.
Right.
I literally, I was out of town when my episode aired, so I haven't, and where I was staying, there was no cable TV, so I haven't even seen that episode yet. So I'm still playing catch up from the beginning of the season. So I'm not exactly sure where they're at in the storyline right now. I have like at least 10 episodes to catch up on. So
I think right now, if you don't want any spoilers, I won't tell you. It's up to you.
No, don't tell me. I don't want your listeners to to get any spoilers either. But no, I'll definitely catch up. It's a great show, though. I know a couple of people also, actor friends of mine who've been on it as well.
Actually, I do have a couple of questions for you off the air. But when you were on Gotham, who did you get the chance to interact with, and who didn't you get the chance to interact with?
With the character Barbara Gordon and her, her sidekick. And I interacted with the guy who plays James Gordon, but he's he directed the episode, so that was really cool. Ben Kenzie, so that was excellent. But and this character Talon, the new Talon. Not that I interacted with him in as much as he cut my head off. So yeah, but.
Do you guys still speak on an everyday basis, or is it just more like a Carlisle acquaintance?
No, just then. I just met them, and we did the scene, different times, different angles, but no, I'm not in contact with anybody like that. That's usually the case, I just came in as a one-day person, so no, I'm not in contact with any of those folks. I'm not in contact with very many, Hollywood people. I probably count maybe on one hand the amount of Hollywood people that I know, but some people, they don't give out their information, which is cool. I have a busy life as it is. I have a daughter and an older mom, and this career is just always networking and always hustling. So I have very few true friends. So.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you, I want your honest opinion. Because for me, I interviewed actors, actresses, models, CEOs, professional wrestlers, everyone. What
Wow.
is your honest opinion? Do you think I should interview, and I don't mean this to sound like a creepy thing or anything, so that's why I
Mhm.
don't usually bring it up, but I just want your opinion. Do you
Yeah.
think I should, because I wanted to interview the kid from Gotham, the guy who did Bruce, and the kid who does Bruce. Do you
Oh,
think I should introduce kid actors, or do you think just keep doing what I'm doing?
I think you should expand. I mean, it's interesting to get the input and what their experience is as a kid actor, because there's some kid actors who go through a lot of craziness when they grow up and age out of the business. But no, I think that's an excellent thing to aspire to get some of the kid actors in there, because they have unique view. I didn't take my first acting lesson until I was 23, and some of these kids, they're on Broadway at 6 and 7 and 8, and they're doing TV shows. So yeah, I think that's a great idea to go after them as well, because people want to hear about what their experiences are, and other kids do too.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, don't knock it till you try it, right?
Amen.
Now, going back to The Wire, what were some of your favorite memories, and did you ever pull any pranks on the people?
I mean, I didn't pull any pranks, but I remember this one real serious scene. Frankie Faison, who was the commissioner on the show, he's been in everything. He was in all of the movies with Hannibal Lecter, and Eddie Murphy with Coming to America. But anyway, Frankie Faison he just was telling this joke, and there was supposed to be a real serious moment coming up, and I'm laughing. Getting ready to say action, so I had to kind of back down and kind of get this smile off my face. So, but no, I was not a big enough person on the show to do something like that. Only the big stars can do stuff like that and make you laugh. And yeah, if I try to do that, they say, "Get the heck off the set, Wilson." So no, but I mean, some of my best memories are working with Wendell Pierce, who played Bunk. I learned a lot from him. I really respect him, and I saw him on stage, and when I first met him, I was kind of stalkerish. Not, I was just like, "Hey, Mr. Pierce, really nice to meet you." It was very kind of befuddled around him, but he ended up being, a person who I can call and trust to speak with, and get his opinion about a lot of stuff. And it's an actor I really admired as an actor and as a person. He's a really great community activist, especially in this community of New Orleans. But most of my fond memories are working with him, and just some of the crazy stuff they had us say. A couple of scenes was really funny, and I have fond memories of those.
I remember I got the chance to meet one of my favorite WWE divas,
Oh,
Marlena Perez.
whoa! Oh my
Yeah.
God!
She
She's
came to
awesome.
Middletown, New York for an autograph signing. And back to before I tell you the story, um, would you be interested in doing autograph signings, or have you done any?
I've done a couple, maybe one or two, but I don't think people really want my autograph. I mean, I get an occasional request, maybe once a month, but I mean, I don't think there's a big demand for my autograph. Most people don't know who I am. I might get recognized from The Wire maybe once every couple of months, but no, I'm not that famous. I don't think anybody's clamoring for my autograph.
Well, I do have a couple ideas for you off the air. And
Okay.
so when I went to meet Malena at the autograph sign in Middletown, and I hesitated. It's like, she just looked at me. She was really sweet. She was looking at me. She was tilting her head. I think she was just messing with me. But she was just looking at me, and I said, I want to say something. I stopped, And I said, I'm sorry, I'm starstruck. And she said, oh, don't worry about it. It happens a lot. And I remember I was shaking her hand a lot. And I just noticed I was holding her hand a lot. And I noticed I felt like a connection. It was, just because she was warm and friendly. And I walked behind the table, and he's like, oh, can we take a picture and everything? And I was still talking to her. And I said something. I said, hey, maybe if you're ever available, maybe we can hang out sometime. And then she just shot me a look, and I said, ah, shit. I didn't mean it like that. I mean, and she said, oh, it's okay. And I know you didn't mean it like that. I don't know when I'm going to be in the Middletown, New York. But the way she looked at me, it's like, yeah, I'm waiting for security to jump over the table.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've had a couple encounters like that, but yeah, I'm sure they get that a lot. She's a very attractive woman.
She is. Are you a wrestling fan?
No, I don't really watch wrestling too much. I'm mostly looking at plays, and if I'm home, I got a kid, so I'm watching Disney or Nickelodeon. So no, I haven't really had a chance to get into wrestling. I mean, I like the genre and the characters, but I don't know enough about them, and it's just it's a matter of time. Theater takes up a lot of time, and luckily I've been busy with some projects too, so just don't have the time really, but I would like to.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you, if you don't mind me for asking, you mentioned you have a daughter. Does that, trying to find the words, I don't want you to think I'm an asshole or anything.
No.
Does that interfere with your career, or do you think, and as I do, family comes first? But at the same time, you do need to make a living. But how do you balance the two out?
Well, luckily I have a wife who's, she's very understanding, and she has a flexible schedule with her. She's a teacher, so just childcare. Sometimes, right after we finish, I got to go pick up my daughter because my wife's working late. But it doesn't interfere. It interferes as much as I miss being around it when I'm away from her, and she misses me too. So that's the only part that interferes. But no, I mean, luckily my schedule's been pretty cool. But I've had to be out of town for maybe like 3 weeks at a time, and we try to Skype, each other too. But that's the only part that I don't like, just being away from her for too long, Because she's growing up.
Right.
She's going to be 9, so yeah, it's hard being away from her and my family. But then no, she doesn't interfere at all. She's come to shows and rehearsals and auditions with me, so it's nice. She's my little good luck charm.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you is, what future would you like for her? Do you want her to be like your wife and become a school teacher, or do you want her to follow in your footsteps?
Well, I want her to do whatever's going to make her happy. I mean, now she takes dance, and she wants to. She has a beautiful voice. I'm thinking about getting her, some voice lessons, but she's kind of leading towards something in the arts, but I'm not sure yet, and she's not sure yet. She has time to, I told her, if that's what you want to do, you got to take classes, though. She's actually been in a couple of movies with me as, kind of background, and when I did Creed, her picture is in the shot of my scene with Michael B. Jordan, so she's had a little taste of it. She's been on a couple of sets, and so we'll see. I'm not sure yet, but she definitely has to get a good education first. Believe that.
Yeah, actually, it's kind of funny you mention that. I know I should have done more of a background check on you. I didn't know you were in Creed.
Oh, yeah. No, we shot 2 scenes, but they cut 1. But I have a nice little scene in there with Michael B. Jordan, who was on The Wire as well. And I'm in the upcoming the Ocean's 8 franchise, where they're, doing a female version. Hopefully I'm still in it. I hope I didn't get cut out. And currently you can see me on Bloodline in the series finale, the last episode, entitled Number 33. But it's the episode 10 in season 3, the final season. So that's on Bloodline, right? Bloodline on Netflix right now.
No, absolutely. Now, in the last question I was going to ask you, then we can take a commercial break, is When do you think backgrounds really matter, or do you think it's how you present yourself that matters? So, like for a perfect example, my last guest was saying to me, "Oh, I should get my own studio. I should do more like a blank wall." But everyone, if you look, has like the same background, the same repetition. Do you think it's always going to be different, or do you think it's just follow the flock?
Oh no, I think you have to be different. You have. I mean, that's what makes us unique as artists and actors. It's our little quirks and our little eccentricities. That's why you have 10,000 TV shows and all these movies, because there's so many different kind of people and actions and the way they react. So no, I think it's always better to not follow the crowd. If I followed the crowd, I don't know where I would be. But no, we all have to follow our own path, I think. And as actors, as people, as artists, as interviewers, be yourself, be different.
Yeah, I agree. See, now we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, I'm going to ask you a couple more hidden questions, then I'm going to pass the show over to you.
Okay.
A message for yourself or as a gift for someone else. For personal connections, shout-outs, birthdays, proposals, weddings, and much more. Enter your details about yourself so the celebrity can record a personal video message especially for you, including details such as your name, age, birthday, hobbies, or whatever else you include. As soon as the video has been recorded, you'll get an email with your link so you can share it on social media or download and keep it. Celebrities record videos as and when they can, usually within 2 weeks. But if you want a video for a specific date and it does not look like it will arrive in time, you can cancel it and get an instant refund at the click of a button. There are hundreds of celebrities to choose from and many more joining every day. Search by category or genre, buy a gift voucher, get updates and offers, and encourage your favorite celebrities to join so they can connect with fans in a fun and unique way. Raise money for their charities and much more. So order your video now for yourself or for someone else.
I'm so bored.
Want to see something really cool?
Yeah!
Now you'll never be bored again with Loot Crate, a totally bodacious mystery box packed with awesome toys, radical games, and other surprises. And the best part is, you can get Loot Crate delivered right to your door. So don't delay. Ask your parents and order today.
Everything okay in there? Yeah, everything great. I love Loot Crate.
Gentlemen, welcome back to 350. I'm here with a good friend of mine, Brian Wilson from the hit show The Wire. And I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my show and not getting sick of me.
No, not at all.
And like I said, anything can happen live.
Amen. I turned it off.
Now, before I pass the show over to you, I'm going to ask you two easy questions. And the first one is, like I said, I like keeping it real. And the first one I'm going to ask you is, have you ever worked in retail? And do you have any funny stories from working in retail?
Oh, yeah. I worked at Macy's, doing the, I was actually in the rug department, and I had to flip rugs for different people. And there was a lady who kind of came on to me there, and I was like, whoa. She was older, and I was like, oh, well, I'm very flattered, man. But I told her I had a girlfriend that I didn't at the time. But that was a little weird. But it was funny but fun. I was like, I don't know, 19 years old, before I started working full-time for Richardson Dix. But, yeah, it was funny. Funny little encounter. But, yeah, I've definitely worked some retail jobs when I was younger anyway. Not recently. I've been a professional actor for the past 20 years, so.
Now, with the 20 years of acting under your belt, for people who want to break into the entertainment world, like for me, for an example, what are the steps you would recommend? What are, like, say you're from New Jersey, so what are some of the top agents in acting schools, and how do you go about getting an agent and going into acting schools?
Well, getting an agent is tricky, but there's a lot of you have to identify who's there. You can contact SAG and find out who are the legit franchised agents. You want to have somebody that's legit and a franchised agent. And the other thing is getting into the union, the Screen Actors Guild and American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, AFTRA, which is tricky. And there's a lot of information about that on the internet and Googling it. And it really depends on what area you're in and finding out, Googling acting classes and see who's, doing stuff. And in New York, oh my goodness, you live in New York, so it's so many great acting schools there. I always recommend the Actors Green Room with Jen Rudolph. They have a lot of connections with casting directors. They also have showcases so you can be seen by a potential agent or a manager, and they, so maybe they'll say, "Hey, I want you to come in, and I can represent you." So there's a lot of different venues out there. There's Actors Access, which is one of the things I submit on myself, and it's a bunch of different acting websites that you can go on to, submit your information and make sure. And that's another thing too, having your own website and having a demo reel. But yeah, getting started is a little tricky. It's kind of identifying what you want to do. Do you want to be a theater actor? Do you want to go for TV? Do you want to go for film? There's different ways to study all three of those. And they are different set of muscles. Acting for theater is different from acting. I mean, acting is acting, but you have to be bigger on stage and kind of bring it in for TV and film. So there's a plethora of like TVI Acting Studio and a lot of different acting studios in New York. It depends on where you live and what you want to concentrate on. But I would always recommend, taking a class, going to your local college. A lot of colleges that do student film. That's a great way to learn, shooting a student film, industrials. But sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Give it 5 minutes, the phone will ring again.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's where I'm sitting. I should have put it in the other room.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Now, what is your honest opinion of me? Do you think I should get like my own studio, or do you think that's where the problems start? And the reason I asked that is because I was thinking about renting my own studio, but then you have to pay for the person. Say hypothetically, look at it like this. Say I got my own studio and we were going to do the interview. I would be more than happy to buy you lunch, or buy you dinner or whatever. Buy you a cold drink, but then I would need to pay you gas. I have to pay you tolls. Do you think that it's my responsibility to pay for transportation, or do you think that it's kind of like a negotiation, saying, okay, here's the message and cost I'm doing, and you have to contribute to the cost, or do you think I have to pay everything out?
I mean, first of all, I think you're very engaging and you're a great interviewer, so I really like talking with you. Secondly, you can set up your something in your own apartment. Just have like a blank. I usually would have had something different, but like a blank screen behind me. But you can have a screen behind you, and Skype is the way to go, man. So I don't think you need to go through that extra expense, but maybe have something. Like a drape or something behind you that keeps it, cleaner.
Right.
So but no, I don't think you need to do that. So you can set up something in your own apartment, and you can write that off too, because that's part of what you do for a living. So
now, do you think if going and doing my interviews in person would be the next step, or what would your advice be for me?
I think that you can do both. But yeah, in person is always, I think, better. You can have different camera angles and stuff like that, but then you have to have a cameraman. But but I think it is a logical next step up. But this is great the way you're doing it now, and it's more convenient. But yeah, if you want to go to that next level, then in person is certainly like Larry King or somebody that does that stuff.
Now, the other question I was going to ask you is, actually, you kind of covered it, but I was going to ask you, if you did interviews in person, would it be up to you to pay for that person's transportation, or do you think they would have to pay it from their end?
I mean, it depends on where they're coming from. I mean, I'm 2 hours from New York, so it's very costly for me to get up there. It's like $65, if I want to drive up to Hamilton, take the train in, maybe get a subway. So that gets a little tricky. Depends on what kind of financial situation you have, if you have a budget. But normally when I go to New York, it's something that I get paid for. But it really depends on how, if it's somebody that's, that's in New York and they just have to get a subway, you say, hey, I'll pay for your subway ride, whatever. I think that's reasonable, but otherwise, it's promotion, so that's part of the gig too. So you can write it off.
Absolutely. Now I'm going to ask you one more easy question. I'm going to pass the show over to you. Have you ever been to Woodbury Commons, number one? And where in Jersey are you based?
No, I've never been to Woodbury Commons, and I live in Camden County, near 295. I don't know if people know that, but yeah.
I'm more on the border of Greenwood Lake.
Oh, okay. I don't know too much about that area, but
I think that's going. I think it's either north for Jersey or south for Jersey.
Okay, I think it's north.
I know New Jersey's a big place, so I know that doesn't help.
Oh yeah, it's very big. I thought you were in New York, but yeah.
Well, I'm more near West Point.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So when people think I'm from New York, I'm not, like a New Yorker. I'm more like 2 hours away from the city, so I'm more near West Point and Bear Mountain.
Okay, yeah. Geography is not my strong point. I never did good with it in school, and I thank God for GPS and MapQuest.
Well,
that's the only way I know how to get anywhere.
If you're ever able to hang out, we should definitely do that.
That would be nice.
I get you lunch or something.
Yeah, hey, I like lunch.
You help me, I help you.
Amen.
Now I'm going to pass the show over to you. It's the last 9 minutes left. Was there anything you want to promote? Are you on social media?
I don't know how I would do social media, but I'm getting ready to start rehearsals for a one-man play called Thurgood, about Thurgood Marshall at the Olney Theater Center. I start rehearsals for that on June 27th, so that's my next and biggest, thing. It's going to be a big challenge. And then probably sometime in August or September, I'll be shooting a TV show called Siren in Vancouver, British Columbia. So those are the two big things that are coming up. The Thurgood, I'm really honored to portray him. He was such a great man. He did so much, for the black race, and I'm doing my research now and learning more and more about him, which I love doing. And just watch a documentary about him, and now I'm going through the script and trying to figure some stuff out. But yeah, it's going to be an honor to portray him.
Now, for people who don't know what Sirens is, who are you going to be in the show?
I'm going to be Thurgood Marshall, former Supreme Court Justice, an amazing man, and just so accomplished so much. Lawyer and Supreme Court Justice, and really an amazing personality. I'm watching this documentary about him now. I need to do some more research, read some more stuff. So that's a great part of when you play, especially if you play an actual figure. I did a one-man show before where I played this guy called "Looking Over the President's Shoulder," about he was one of the butlers, the main butler at the White House for 4 different presidents. So I did a lot of research for that too. So I'm just starting with Thurgood, so I need to, but there's so much information out there on Google and stuff, and so I have a lot of stuff to go through.
No, absolutely. Now, the last question, I was going to ask you 2 questions, and I'm going to wrap it up. I have a couple questions for you off the air. Is, for someone who's on the outside trying to get in, because you were on the outside and now you're in the in, and I'm on the outside trying to get in the in, what would you say, what would be your words? So, let's say, just keep doing what you're doing, or is there just, how do I get somebody's attention saying that he's real, he's doing the right thing, or especially with the agents, do you think I need an agent, or do you just keep doing what I'm doing?
No, I would say keep doing what you're doing for right now. And the thing is, what I tell a lot of young actors is this business is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So perseverance, and and you have great questions. So, and then watching people who do this, for a living, getting, because I go to see the movies a lot, and I watch some quality TV shows, and I see a lot of theater. So I get better that way too. So, watch who you admire as an interviewer, and if that's the kind of style you want to emulate, then, go after that. But I'd say, you're a real go-getter. Keep doing what you're doing. And, and I think you'll get better every time. It's about repetition too, just like with theater rehearsal. The more you do it, the better you get.
No, absolutely. And now, wrapping up, I do have a couple of questions for you off the air. But the first one I'm going to ask you is, are you on Facebook? Well, apparently you're on Twitter. That's how we met. But are you on Facebook, LinkedIn, States 32? Can't talk.
Yep.
States 32?
All of those things I'm on. I don't know that I don't tweet a lot. And I'm on Facebook a lot more than most things. And I haven't been on my LinkedIn for I don't know how long, probably since last year. So I need to get better about social media.
Actually, that's one question I do want to ask you. I know I keep saying that, but I keep getting interrupted. It's all sidetracked. And social media is one of my new subjects I talked about. Now, with social media, can it make you or break you? Do you think, what I mean by that, it's for someone like you, if you're a big star, do you have to be careful on what you're saying because it can backfire? And for someone who's like me, who's trying to make it big, do you think that can easily make you or break you?
Well, first of all, I'm not a big star, just just an actor. But secondly, you got to be really careful about what you say out there. I mean, recently, Bill Maher had a controversy using the N word, and Kathy Griffin got in all kind of trouble, lost endorsements, what she, posted on Instagram or Twitter. But you got to be really careful, because that stuff is out there, and it's brought a lot of people down, and it got people fired. So it's a very conservative world we're living in now. So you got to be careful about what you say and who you say it about. Even with the president, as and other people, you really have to be careful about what you put out there in the the Twitterverse or Facebook, or it can really come back to bite you in the butt. So, I always say, maybe think twice and write once. Careful about what you put out there, because we live in a viral world now. So it's a different world out there.
Now, do you think, say, look at it from your point of view, do you think, because like I said, you are an actor, if you have more on an online presence, would that help you get more parts, or do you think it's how you treat people that gives you more parts?
Oh, I think it's both. I mean, I definitely need to have a stronger Twitter presence, and and I've got work from Facebook, posting some stuff, but but I try to always treat people with respect, and treat them like I would like to be treated. So I think it's a combination of both, and this and you never know who knows who in this business. As they say, that the same people you meet on the way up are the same you see coming down too. So be nice to everybody, be respectful, and try to be humble. That's what I try to do.
No, I agree with you. Now, we're wrapping up our interview segment. Stay tuned for after the show. But my last subject I'm going to add to is I'm a big fan of Bill O'Reilly. And so, going on the record, as the spin stops here, like I said, I like the factor. It's really shitty what they did to him. even if it's true or not, I'm a big fan of his. Actually, I wanted to be interviewed by Bill O'Reilly. I guess that's never going to happen. But
Well, he has a podcast now, maybe.
yeah, never say never, right?
That's right.
So, going on the record, when I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your first reaction, your honest reaction, and after being interviewed by me, how you feel now?
I was very flattered that you asked me and your persistence in getting it done, and I feel great about it. I think you're a wonderful interviewer. You're very interested in your subject, so that's a key point, and you asked great questions, so I had a great time.
No, absolutely. Now stay tuned for after the show. I do have a couple questions for you, but wrapping up our interview segment, it was a real honor and privilege to have you as a guest, and I'm looking forward to building a friendship.
All right. Thank you, Andrew.